Happy What We Watch Wednesday. It's your girl, Miss Peacherino, back again with our weekly Severance chat. We also have our Invincible chat. I really like to just call it the Mark's chat now. Everybody named Mark is not safe. Welcome. Happy What We Watch Wednesday. We are on YouTube. We upload these discussions every week. We are unique because we want to hear from you every single time I facilitate these conversations so that the community remains together and we can hear everyone's perspectives. So, very exciting. Again, basically, we have two more episodes before the finale of Severance. Same with Invincible. We're basically here to give you what the Marks are up to again, because they're giving us a lot. Tej, welcome to the stage. Happy What We Watch Wednesday. How you feeling? Tej, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Excited to talk about two very, very cool episodes of TV.
Yeah, so we got some really great television episodes this past week. We got, is it episode 7 of Severance? I think it's episode 7.
Yes.
And then episode 4 or 5 of Invincible. So let's.
No. It's episode 7 of
Oh,
Invincible.
I don't. Is it?
Yes, yes, because Invincible has 8 episodes, and we got that was the episode before the finale, the one we just watched.
Oh, I think we're also at episode 7 for Severance too.
Yeah, but I don't know how many Severance has. I don't know if that was. I think Severance has 10,
Okay.
but Invincible only has 8.
Well, welcome. I'm your girl, Miss Peacherino. Let's jump right into it. I think we get it. Y'all know what's up. To those of you that are new, we're gonna talk about the episodes. So let's start with Severance. We got a Miss Kabelvig episode. Previously on What We Watch, we discussed when people thought that Miss Kabelvig would be back. And if you guessed within the next 2 to 3 episodes, you were wrong. But it was like, or you were correct. I think it was like 3 episodes from the time that we talked about it that you were correct. So we got her back, but we got her back in a way that we did not anticipate. Something I loved about this episode specifically was that while we honed in and focused in on Miss Cabell, who we've been, seeing for quite a few episodes now, there was a lot of discussion that was had around this episode. So while it isn't your typical Severance episode where we've got the innies versus the outies, we've got a lot of drama, we've got a lot of tension, we've got a lot of hallway movements. I mean, I'm shook that we watched a whole episode of Severance and there were no hallways involved. Like that's impressive. But we got Miss Kabelvig and we learned a lot. Let me just throw some of some of the questions that I had out, and y'all come up. This isn't just about me. I want to hear from you at What We Watch. Here's a couple of questions that I had specifically. I said number one. So are Helena and Miss Cabell related? I said number two. Who is Miss Cabell related to as a part of like the beginning of Lumon Industries? Number three, and this is a timeline question, and Tej and I were like, wait, which one is it? And so we've got to figure out. We know that Ragabi reintegrated Mark at the end of 2 episodes ago. And Devin was calling Miss Kabelvig, and that's why Ragabi fled. Okay, so we're probably not going to see that wonderful black woman again, but she's a sicko, so whatever, but Mark agreed. But then we remember 4 episodes ago when we saw Miss Cabell leave the innie outie area where we've been living for the past couple of seasons, or for the past seasons, and then she leaves and then she makes a U-turn to come back. And if you notice in that episode, we saw that when she's driving towards the thing, it says Salt's Neck 283 miles or something like that. It was like some crazy amount of miles. But she busts that U-ey and comes back. Now Tija's like, well, remember, at some point she came back and spoke to Helena, we should say. and Helena, dropped her nuts on that again. Sorry for the vulgarity, but that's what it felt like when I watched it. I'm like, damn, Helena don't give a fuck about you, Miss Cabell. So, but we don't know. Is this episode set in between the time that she was having the conversation with Helena? It seems like that makes sense. So is it somewhat of a time jump? Who understands the timeline most?
No, it doesn't. No, we figured it out because remember at the end of this episode, Devin calls her, so it has to be
She
that
went
that was
twice.
this happened after. Yeah, she went halfway, and then the second time she went all the way. That has to be the way that it played out.
Is there anyone that's against that for the timeline? Because again, these were all my questions. Did anyone get confused about the timeline a little bit? KP, Diner in the Dash, Big Scowls.
Nah, the phone calls solidified it for me when Mark's sister called him. I figured, okay, this was coinciding with last
So
episode.
coinciding with the last episode, meaning she did bust at you. We come back, have the conversation with Helena, and then left again.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree with that.
Okay, good. Because that was one of the questions I had halfway through. Then the other questions, what questions did y'all have? Anybody want to go first while watching this episode? Because it wasn't one of the most cinematic episodes. It wasn't the most daring episode as far as things that we did between characters.
I disagree.
Really? Okay.
I don't agree with that. I think it's very
I
daring
thought it
to
was very.
have an episode
Yeah.
where you have none of the main
Hold on.
cast except for her.
Let
I
me
thought
let
that's
Diner
daring.
speak real quick, Teach. Hold on. Go ahead, Diner.
Well, I was very excited to tune in tonight to listen because you guys told me that a Patricia Arquette performance was coming.
Right.
And I was like, maybe not. But we got it. We got the whole thing.
We knew the Miss Cabell
We
big
got the
episode
whole
was
thing
coming
tonight.
Yeah. Teach, go ahead.
I called it.
Yes.
Teach, go ahead.
But I do have opinions about the episode, but I would rather listen, sit back and listen.
So what I said that kind of got everybody riled up was that it wasn't one of the most daring, most exciting, most cinematically, impressive episodes that I've seen. Episode 7 and episode 5 got that, or Ortbo episode, I'll say, and I think it was episode 7, so I think we're on episode 8 now. I don't know. The Miss Gemma episode. I mean, phenomenal directing, cinematography. Even shoot the Mammalians Nurturable episode was so daring to me. But I heard some pushback there. Talk to me, Tej. Was it you, Tej, and it was you, Diner? Go ahead, talk, Tej.
I think first of all, I think some of the information we learned left us with a lot of questions, but I think it is so cool that what are we, probably in hour 17, 18 of the show, if you include everything that we've seen, you finally go back to Severance started. Because the idea was there.
TJ,
We
you're
also
cutting
learned
up pretty
that the
bad.
idea came.
You're cutting
We
up
also
pretty
learned
bad.
that the idea.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, you go. I'm almost home.
Okay. Anyone else push back? Big Scales, KP?
I missed the question. What was the question?
I said that this wasn't one of the most daring, cinematically alluring, inviting, impressive episodes of this season alone, honestly, and much less the previous seasons. Now that I'm thinking about it,
I think it just gave us so much. It was so layered, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Like my man said, the Patricia Arquette performance was amazing. Seeing her outside of Lumon, seeing her show emotions, she's almost like a totally different person.
Yeah, that's why I liked it too. I liked it because I had a lot of questions. I got a lot of information. Now I can't wait to get back into the building with them.
Yeah, seeing how Lumon basically big corporation Walmarted this small town, and now it's depleted, and that's where she comes from, and her whole backstory. I think it was a great episode. I do want to just say, I'm so glad I was on the right track, because I felt earlier in the season that she was going to turn. I was like, someone has to flip and help Mark and these people with this whole situation. And I thought it would be her or Milicic, but knowing that it was her, it makes me feel a lot better.
Oh, so you know she gonna flip and help, like you know
Yeah,
for a fact.
yeah. That's going to
She
be
on she
Mark's.
on she
Yeah,
on team whatever.
she
You know what?
gonna flip on Lumen.
I really appreciate you saying that. I really appreciate you saying that. Here's why. I wasn't in because I don't really trust white women like that. It's a little, y'all will take over and push anybody down quick. The thing about it is though, um, as someone who has suffered since, and there was a lot of allusions to what she was doing as a child. As someone who has suffered at the hands of Lumen and has given what, we don't have to spoil it yet, we'll let Teej cook, but like come back in, and try to run a severed floor, she did not get that. So basically, it's like someone that she feels like she poured into that did not give back to her the way she thought. That's immediate grounds for a flip. But
Yeah, they
now
took her
again,
baby.
huh?
They took her baby.
But see, now my issue is, well, what took her this long? And so I guess she felt like she was cool, like they were even because she had the job that she wanted. But now y'all done tried the girl too much. Y'all done tried the doll too much. And so, but I'm going to tell you, when I knew, because, and I told Tej this, I said, Devin has been with us. Are we on season 3? It's season 3, right?
No, we're on season 2.
Season 2, it's season 2. Season 3 of Invincible. See, that's why I get confused. On season 2, we're in season 2. My girl has been correct about everything and in her intuition for multiple episodes now. Devin, I'm talking about Devin, Mark's sister, okay? Like, she hasn't been wrong. And so I went back to like how shook I was when Ragabi was, I was with Ragabi. I was like, no, don't call Miss Cabell. Whoa, like she a op. Like, we can't do that. And then I thought about it, and then when Miss Cabell answered the phone to Devin at this episode, I was like, no, she is on our side now, right? And you know what? I was like, man, I shouldn't have even questioned Devin, because she'd have been questioning Lumen the way that we have this whole time. She damn near the only one keeping like, does this make sense? What are they doing to you? Is this okay? So yeah, for sure. Trevon, KP, any comments on this episode? Go ahead, KP.
Yeah, this episode felt like if Severance was like a comic book, and then, or like Game of Thrones, like is a book reader and a TV watcher. This episode was for the book readers.
Okay, I like that.
Because I had to, I didn't know about Severance, so I took the whole weekend and like binged it, and then I caught up, and it it
Lucky you.
it, it, it lost me. I love how it looks. I love the acting. I love everything. But I was like, I guess the Penguin spoiled me because every episode was fire. This one was like, I get it. I get how what's going on, but it just didn't. It was no meat on that bone, so to speak.
I'm
But
glad you said that it's for the book readers, because as a book reader, hashtag book reader. So funny to talk about reading on the internet. But like I said, like books don't have a lot of, at least novels that we read don't have the visuals. You have to give them yourself. So I got a lot of pushback on that about like it wasn't the most cinematically impressive episode by far. Like it just wasn't. But damn, was there a lot of information for us to move forward with our theories and really think about how this character holds so much weight across the universe of like Lumen and Severance.
can I quickly say, this feels like every drug dealer woman that gets scorned, and then all hell breaks loose after she realizes, oh, I have the power. I am that shit. I can manipulate the person that did me bad. So the game plan is now being in session, and I can hear the montage music in the background playing as she plots her game plan to take down Lumen. So I love that whole aspect.
I love that you said that too, because guess what I'm watching concurrently with Severance is The Wire. And don't make me do an entire thesis on how they are related and all of the parallels, because exactly. Because when she said, what did Celestine say? Pedal pusher, drug peddler pusher, something. I said, oh, so y'all was on that stuff.
She called him a huff peddler or huff
Puff
pusher.
peddler
Peddler.
pusher. Puff peddler. I said, Lord. I said, they are going for it. But yeah, who said the Walmart comment earlier? Like, that was so great. Like, oh man, you started off in a small town, you built a factory that was once nice. You know, again, the dialogue was so profound and so pristine in this show because she's like, everyone looks frailer than I remember, right? Like, they're all clearly worn and torn and used up and, you know, drab and dark and wrinkly and dry and whatever, like, kind of like that indicates some sort of like, you done been through some shit, right? Like, they were very intentional about making sure everybody looked like that. And she just looked a little bit more supple, like just a little bit, not that much. And so for her to like make that distinction, like, I can't be like this. Basically, like, if I don't get this right, I'm on this path back to this hometown where I grew up, and I left this city for a reason. I got to get out. Do any of y'all visit home and y'all are like, I cannot do this. This is why I left. Let me get back to LA. Let me get back to New York. Let me get back to where, because I can't. Because this is the stagnant little town that I'm from. I can't. But let me pick up my stuff and go. Trevon, how are you? Welcome to What We Watch. Talk to me about this episode.
Hey Mo. I'm a little disappointed in y'all. I may have saw the episode a little different. I don't I don't like this Harmony circle jerk going on right now.
You
I
don't?
I really like, to me, she's a set. This is a setup. Like, it is, and it's so clear. That's why I was like a little confused. Like, she is going for her credit. Nothing about what she's done in the episode made me feel like she's a hero. Like, she wants her credit. She wants to be known as the creator of Lumen, this evil industry. Like, even while you're just recent talking about it, like, she is very much Tony Childs going back to Fresno. She's not going back to Fresno. She's an LA girl now. Like, she is, like, that's sad that y'all live like this, but I don't have to live like this going
I don't
forward.
have to live like this. Okay,
Like,
and nobody say she was a hero, but I know what you're talking about. Let's volley a little bit, right? KP Diner. We're not saying that she's going to go and like prioritize. And so thank you for making us rephrase. What I think she's going to do is she's not going to go and do what she was doing before because it didn't work out for her. What she was doing before was literally running the severed floor like a, quite frankly, a fucking bitch. Now she's going to be forced to be more strategic. I don't think that gives her more empathy. I don't think that makes her the hero. But now we're going to get into this moment where I believe that she's going to try to help as long as it helps her. She's going to try to get in good with everybody. You know, again,
She asked for Mark. She asked for Mark.
I'm concurrently watching The Wire, and I'm on season 4. And Officer, what's his name, is going up there with everybody, and he being cool and developing relationships because he did all that work and did all the great performances, but he not in cool with everybody on the streets. And so he's trying to improve his relationships, and that's what I think is going to happen. I think Miss Cabell is going
You are extremely right about that.
Go ahead, T. I see your hand up. Are you home? We got good audio?
Yeah.
Yes. And I think that this episode is great. And I think it's better than the Miss Casey episode that everybody loved. Here's why.
Oh, brother.
The information that we learned from this episode puts every conversation that Miss Kobevic has had in this show in different contexts. Knowing that she is the one who came up with the idea for Severance, yet she ends up, we meet her, she's in middle management. And not just that, she literally gets fired from that and she gets replaced by somebody who she feels like, how you gonna replace me with Milchick? Milchick doesn't understand what I know. I created this whole shit.
Beef.
And y'all got me in middle management. And on top of the fact, if I understand it correctly, or at least the theory that I have is correct, one of the Egans stole the idea from her, and that's her mom, which means that Miss Kobelvig is an Egan. Now, so you mean to tell me Helena, who's never done shit for this company, is an executive in this company that's calling the shots, and she get to talk crazy to me, the person who literally invented Severance? That's insane. And now we understand. There's no way you could have told me last year, yeah, Miss Gobelva is going to turn her back on Lumen and it's going to be believable. But knowing what we know now, how could she not turn her back on Lumen? How could she not hate Lumen? That is incredible writing. That alone makes this episode monumental in the whole Severance story to me. I thought it was fantastic. I love Arquette's performance, and I thought it was just great. I thought it was great.
It's interesting. I don't think I think this is where maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Teach Trevon. I don't think she hates Lumen. I think she resents it, but I think she really loves Lumen, and she's like, this shit, this my shit. This my shit. So like, let me infiltrate from the inside and take over. Because you're right, Teach. How the fuck here's my theory. Helena is Miss Kabelvig's niece. I'm kind of pissed off because if I'm right, and I didn't think of this before, I gotta get tapped in. But shout out to the showrunners and the writers and everybody involved in this. If they are related, which it sounds like they are, if they are related, then that conversation that we were shown prior to, which was so strategic, I agree with you, Teach, so impressive, that we see Miss Kabelvik here later in a later episode go see what she came back and forth with. That basically means that she was like, oh, okay, so I tried to give y'all one last chance. Okay, and y'all tried me. Okay, well, you know what? This is my shit. Lumen is actually me and my family. So let me go in. I'm going to be strategic, and I'm going to help out the people that obviously don't have fucking clue. They don't have a fucking clue. Y'all on my side now, because I ain't mad at y'all. Y'all didn't know that I made the glass cow and the overtime contingency that helped y'all, the core four, hashtag the core four, do their thing and become famous. Y'all didn't know that. But Helena and her team do, so I'm off of it. I'm done. And so I love that because now we have family drama. There's nowhere else to put it. This is family drama. Trevon, go ahead.
Yeah, this is family drama. I definitely believe there's some niche stuff, but I also believe in the same vein, like something has happened, because when she ran away from Lumen that time, and they were like, "Let's go have a reset." I don't know. I don't know if I was here for that conversation where we didn't know if she had been severed a little or what happened. I remember I'm
Yep.
still confused by that, but clearly she left important papers in her small town, which leads me to believe, just like Bert Irving, I always confuse the two, but how he had the documents back at his house. Like, these people are working for a place that they don't really trust.
Yep.
And I think they're underestimated by Lumen because Lumen knows she knows Devin. So if they even thought she would turn her back, they would, I don't know what they would do. Kill her, you get her rid of her, whatever, and not. So that's why I think she's going to use Mark not as a rebellious tool, but like, hey, this nigga's reintegrated, and he's going to tell all your secrets. But if y'all give me a high position, I can make this go away. Like, I 100% do not see
Trust her.
her
Okay,
going
good.
there to destroy Lumen. I think she wants what she's owed. She wants a seat at the table. She
Okay,
doesn't want to
period.
destroy the table.
Period. I thought she wanted to bring
I
in the
think
new table. Go ahead, TJ.
I think that this is the first time that I thought about what I thought was going to happen of Miss Kobelvig, and I think that she's going to die. I think that her standing up to Lumen is going to lead to her death.
How quickly?
But I
How
like
quickly?
I have so many. Not I think end of the season. I think that's our big end of the season moment is that she's going to die at the end of
Oh, and
this
shit gonna
season
really turn up.
because because it's like this before even the events that we've seen. We meet this person, she is in middle management. If she created the glass cow contingency, if she created the overtime contingency, if she created Severance, and I want to point out something that Monique pointed out to me in the little, they showed the little recaps of something that happened in past episodes. They showed where Helena said, no, I didn't invent Severance, my dad invented Severance. There is an issue here of who invented this stuff. Maybe her dad did invent the actual chip part of it, but we know that Miss Cobelvin created big portions of this program. How is someone who's innovating on that level that the company's using and making probably millions of dollars from, literally in middle management? Like she had the same job that Milchick has now, and Milchick is being told by the board that he uses words that are too big. Like, these people are middle management. How do you get to the point? What was wrong with her, or what did she do, or why was she put in middle management as opposed to her being up there with Helena in board in meetings that are important? How can she be fired from a place where she is responsible for maybe the biggest idea in the history of the company? That, like, I cannot wait to see how that plays out. That is so intriguing, and it's such a smart decision from the
Agreed.
writers to drive a wedge between Lumen and her. And I do agree that she could. I guess it would make sense if she went and tried to parlay this one more time. Fool, you slap my head once, you slap my head twice.
now you're gonna have to slap my hand a third time because now we've had 3 different
Right.
conversations between her and
It's not gonna
Helena
happen.
where basically she's being
Yeah.
fired. So I would like it if she approached him a third time, but then I got Mark and I fucking built this shit. And you know that, Helena, y'all need to come to the table and parlay with me on a real level. Because if you remember, when they had the second conversation, she basically was like, okay, I'll come back. I'll be in whatever role you want me to, but I want to be back on the separate floor. Helena laughed at that bitch and said, no, you ain't coming back to the separate floor. We're not scared of you. We don't give a fuck about you.
That and that's
Like,
that's what set her off right there. That
that's why she drove
that's why
down
she drove
there,
her ass
and
on
she knows
back.
she got to see her ex lover who don't fuck with her. She got to see her sister who don't fuck with her. Bring back all this pain and all these memories. She's doing that because she knows I need the ace in the hole now because y'all
Y'all
fucking with me. Y'all playing in my
wrong
face.
bitch.
Y'all playing in my face, and now you got to see
You
about
have
me.
to understand, Happy What We Watch Wednesday. This is what we watch. That's like me building the first What We Watch here in LA. I build like a brick and mortar here in LA. This investor comes in, invests a lot, gives me a whole lot of opportunities, and invests in my product and my services and my app that's coming soon to a device near you. And in 8 years, y'all, my name is nowhere on What We Watch. Could you imagine? You'd be like, wasn't this Monique shit? Like,
Miss Cobell invented the chicken the McNugget and the Big Mac, and she don't
and it's
it's
not
not
called Miss
called
Cabell. It's called
Cobell's,
McDonald's.
and you can't tell me the person's name right now who invented the chicken McNugget. That's how they did Miss
That's how they
Cobell.
did it. Ain't no way. What you mean? Oh, we've just found this new way to host discussions online every week. Da da da. Jonathan, Jacobs is the. You'll be like, what? I don't. Not really. But if you go enough time and I stay quiet enough, and they got me managing a team of designers at What We Watch. Can you imagine? Did I make that decision myself? Like, no. And so that's why I love this episode, because now y'all done now this happens, right? Like, for centuries, women invent things, women design things, and men are able to monetize it. They're empowered. I mean, this is real feminism, real family drama shit. Like, I'm able to take this and I have the connection, so I'm going to take it to the right investors and I'm going to write my name on it too. And yeah, you invented the Glasgow block, but I invented a way to put the Glasgow block in the head. So really, this is me, And it's like, but you didn't have no fucking idea of this shit. So it becomes one of those, like, really kind of business decision, historically, suppressing women type shit. And the men get all the credit and the money and the fame and the factories all over this, like, insane world. It was honestly.
Not to mention, the person who took it out of your hand is your literal mother. Imagine the trauma of that. You already have a strained relationship with your mother, and then she steals your idea and takes it to the people, to the Kier people and the Lumen people. But your mom just took it out your hand and said, and then she had the nerve to tell you, there's no such thing as you having an idea.
All
All the
Kier.
ideas are the ideas of
What?
Kier.
Baby, I don't give a fuck what you're talking about. This was my idea. Now, we can make some negotiations, but also we talk too much about children. For me, we said the term child labor. Like, there was nowhere. So I wonder how young Miss Cabell was when she, like, had all these designs. Like, are we talking 10, 15, 20, 20? Like, each one of those ages gives me a different sort of pause. You feel me? KP, thank you for having your hand up. Go ahead. KP.
Oh, I'm sorry.
KP, you there?
Y'all just stole my line. This is nothing but founder. When Ray Kroc took the McDonald's brothers ideas and they got kicked to the curb, and then he put his little name on it, and then it got big. But as with all big corporations, big bank take little bank, she will not win.
Oh.
The contingency plan is putting all the politicians with the Audis and the Ennies and all that. So she could work her little heart out. She can do all her little shenanigans. She can be upset, but she ain't gonna win because the corporation has contingency plans, because there's other brains thinking about what she's gonna do while they've been watching her mismanage, watching her go down a rabbit hole, be upset outside. They watching everything as she's in her little town with all this. The one
all
thing
the
I didn't like about
druggies and the frails. Mm-hmm.
The one thing I didn't like about that episode, it was too cold. I felt the cold at home. They
Right?
snowing all the time. It's dark. It's dingy. She brushing her teeth outside in the street. Like, what are we doing here?
Yo, I'm so thrown off.
Hot take, Lumen should be in that town because they ain't got nothing. So, that's just me. I'm not
Let's talk about it, though.
I'm not a corporate shill, but Lumen saved that
Look.
town from destruction.
Look, none of us are perfect because, we done had too many conversations.
Praise Q.
We done had too many conversations, and I done told y'all, Severance coming to our Earth 616, whatever the fuck Earth we on. I'm into it. Yes. What? Okay,
I've never brushed my teeth outside. Never.
Never in
Ever,
my life.
ever.
We opened up, and y'all don't know, I don't know if y'all caught this. So the last time we opened up with a crazy fucking opening with Miss Cabell was when she was doing the turnaround to Salt's Neck. Also, what is Salt's Neck? Enough. Okay, enough. But I heard there's like a bunch of like actual cities called this stuff. Enough. But if you remember, when we're like seeing her in this old ass car in this old ass dusty ass cold ass town and road, ridiculous, right? Like when I did a podcast with a couple of people that kind of watched this show very closely, I was like, they were like, it feels like a video game of some sort. It feels like this is not a real, like what? And I always have the question every time we step out of the Lumen building. I'm like, what time period and where are we geographically? I can never, ever, ever figure it out. I don't understand it. What year is it and where are we? The world is big. Please tell me where we are. And I can never find out. And so when we started with Miss Cabell and that other cold open where she was driving and whatever, we saw it the camera pan to the breathing tube of her mother. So that was a really cool, to me, closed loophole when she starts using the breathing tube on her mother's machine. I was like, yo, that's what was in the car. So she had planned, like this was her whole plan that whole day to kind of go to her mother's room, get all the shit that she needed to get and like relive the quote unquote pain that Celestine was talking about. And then, the next time we see Miss Cabell, like what time period is this? Are there no hotels? And I'm like, damn, how, like either hotels didn't exist, which puts that as at a crazy year, or they like have failed, which also puts us at it. Like, in what world can you not just stop quickly at a hotel over a 500, 600, 700 mile trip and use the bathroom and brush your teeth? Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? So that was my thing. Big Skells, Diner in the Dash, anything to add? I mean, am I still by myself?
No, it takes me back to the conversation they had. I'm going back to when Helena and Cobell were talking outside of the Lumen. And I think Helena told her like something like, you overestimated your contributions and maybe your blessings.
She did say that.
So that's when she, I'm out of here. Because y'all about to kill me. Talking about some coming inside. I think that's when she thought, that's right there. She thought maybe like my life is not, they were willing to scrap me out because she said, y'all afraid of me. No, we're not afraid of nobody.
I'm telling you.
So
Helena is
out of all, you know what I mean?
Helena is her niece. If my niece talked to me that crazy, you got me all the way fucked up.
We don't know that's her niece.
So what do y'all saying the connection is? Who's who? How's that her niece?
Okay,
so they said in the episode, they said that she said these were my ideas, these are my designs, and then the sister Sissy says Elena Egan created Severance or whatever she said. So if her mother, which they don't confirm, but if her mother stole her designs because she was looking for the designs in her mother's room, so if her mother stole the designs, either her mother gave it to the Egans or her mother is an Egan. So, and we don't know anything about her dad. So it could be that their last name is their dad's last name, but her mother is an Egan.
Or
I was under the impression that the mother was against this whole thing.
How did you get to that? Maybe you're right. I don't know. How did you get to that?
Because what Sissy said, she said, "You're just like your mother." What did she say? What was that? You're both. She called him something.
Here's my thing. Here's what Teej said. Plus, also, when she went down to the shed area, the outdoor fucked up area outside of the house, she's moving some like statues, and one of the statues says James Egan. Why is there a James Egan plaque or statue right next to your designs? Like, were you just raised randomly around and to have a plaque? It looked very much like a family heirloom type shit, to where, because like, why is it in this house? Unless this is like genuinely like Lumon like adopted this family just from a business perspective and honored it from a business perspective. Because I'm like, why is this? There's so much family, like Celestine Sissy, mother, Elena Egan. Like, were they just like friends, homies, cousins? Like, to me, what I want to be the case, which adds so much crazy sauce, is that Miss Cabell was, a in-law or something, some sort of cousin, daughter of some sort of Egan, whether he was married in, she was married in, whatever. Helena is the granddaughter, right, of Egan, who we've seen in season 1 already, the finale, say his shit, and we've seen him in this season. And so in my head, I'm like, unless this is strictly business, Miss Cabell is somehow related to this family, which is why Helena was like, you've overestimated your contributions. And that's why Helena kind of talking to her, and they don't have too much conversations, but there's a lot of like intimacy and a sense of like, who even gets to talk to Helena one-on-one like this? We don't ever see that. Helena be running her own shit, doing whatever the fuck she want to do. She's very rebellious. She feels very empowered. She's a fucking weirdo. So it seems like a little family situation, maybe cousin, maybe twice removed, whatever, and they're related. And so Miss Cabelvig lost her mind when her niece or whoever was like, you've overestimated your contributions to the Egan family. That's what I thought. But if Miss Cabell isn't an Egan, or an Egan, again, married in, whatever you want to call it, then why was there a James Egan next to her designs? Why is her mother, all up in there? But welcome, plants over people. Talk to me. Do you have something
Hi.
for me?
Thank you. I saw
Ah,
Severance and I just ran into this room. May I know your name, beautiful? I always see you on my TL. What's your name?
it's Monique.
Monique. Hi.
Yes.
Okay. So
Hi.
Monique, yes, I
Welcome.
think
Thank
you're
you for joining what we
thank
watched.
you. Thank you. I ran in here. Ran. I love
Yes.
all these theories. I'm
Yes.
addicted to Severance.
Same.
Yes, I think you're spot on that Miss Egan, or excuse me, Miss Cobell is related to Helena, excuse me,
Yeah.
Helly. But I want to ask y'all. I've also heard a theory that Miss Huang is the child of Gemma and Mark. What do y'all think about that?
That's my bag right there.
Yeah, like Miss Huang, what?
I think that's true.
That's
Okay,
my bag. And when I tell you I said it, Teej, you was there. I said it immediately. Did I not? That night they did the
You
same day they
did.
did the icebreaker. I said they fucking
right.
with Mark bad. They fucking with Mark
Yeah.
bad.
Definitely. The fact that she's Asian, you know what I mean? And a child worker. Although Miss Cobell did say something about child slavery when she was with
Child labor. Oh,
child
that
labor. She
is a
sure
good
did.
parallel.
So
Man,
I'm
Lumon is
not.
a terrible company. Whoa. Anybody?
I think
Mhm.
I think the criminal leak is deeper because the episode is called Sweet
Yes.
Vitriol, which,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't come up with this, but apparently Sweet Vitriol is also a slang term for detho ether. So it's like,
What is
so
that?
this
Uh-huh.
product that they're all using, that they're huffing, we don't know a lot about it other
Oh,
than the
okay.
fact that it's a
Mm.
drug. And so the theory is that this is like a comp for the current opioid pandemic that we have going on, where you market something as non-addictive, as helpful for you, but then the town is ravaged
Oh,
because they become addicted
so
to
That's
it.
this
really
was
good.
And
And that,
this
she's
yes.
was
Yes.
and she said everybody, like, people don't look as healthy as last time I was
Yes.
here. Like, the town is literally
And
dying, and
empty.
Lumen was
Yes.
obviously the
Yes.
culprit.
Yes.
And
I
so this
agree.
is what I said. Again, this is part of why I love this episode. I love this episode because of the information and the questions, and my mind was racing. And the fact that we can have this conversation, like, we're at 40 minutes and we have to switch to Invincible here soon. But you know, when I was watching the episode, I told Tej, I don't know, Tej, if you're talking about what I was saying, but I was like, you know what I didn't think about? Let's like bring it back into the real world. If Severance existed, just like any other drug implant kind of thing, or many other, not any other, but many other, if it's this big, there's going to be a cheaper version, a black market version, a version that is a derivative of it. People are going to wonder about the severed people. They're going to be like, yo, how does it feel to be severed, yo? Like, can you there's too much. And the fact that we've already seen in less than 2 seasons that Lumon don't really be doing a lot of quality control. Like, they tried it, but not a lot of quality control has happened. If we're 8, 10, 15 years into the game, because this episode also makes you think about if Miss Cabell was working at Lumon and the decline of the city, that gives you a time frame of how old Lumon is. But if this is a thing, then that means there's some fake severance chips out there, or there's a fake severance drug out there, or there's a like, we may not be able to sever you, but we can give you a little huff and puff of this that's going to be similar. Because like, and if that's the case, this opens up, like we could be on season 8 of Severance. Again, I'm being influenced by The Wire, but like, it's like cocaine, crack. It's like that kind of level of like fucked up drug, fucked up implant, that when it becomes very accessible, because think about who this drug is accessible to. People with, you know, regular ass jobs. Dylan, without Severance, was going to be working at a door company, a door manufacturing company. So imagine if there's not a lot of control, there's some stuff on the market. There's some stuff out there in the streets. And I think this episode showed you that like there's a darker side to the already dark side that we're very familiar with. There's a darker side. And speaking of quality control, if the only things that we've been like really made aware of in the rebellion and the uprising against Lumon was created by Miss Cabell, she's a big problem, because we saw the Glasgow block because Helena just wanted to be in the Ortbo with them motherfuckers. We saw the overtime contingency because they figured out that there was a little too much going on and they're lying to us about a couple of things. And so if you created those things and they made the core 4 are these amazing kind of things, number one, no wonder Miss Cabell is like, this is my shit. Your core 4 that you made a whole video of, you know, voiced by Keanu Reeves, that was because of the stuff that I made up. People use what I made to kind of put Lumon under some pressure. So it just it's too much, and I feel like there's a lot of things we can do with this world of creating severance and being able to do that, to go to a job or to get away from a pregnancy or to get over grief. Like, this is intense. Tej, go ahead.
Okay, 2 things. I know we got to get to Invincible, but quickly. One, I think my theory about the mom being an Egan is wrong, because the line isn't that Jane Egan, it's
That's
James
what I
Egan.
said.
Like, and
Jane.
I think you caught that.
Yeah.
It's James. So James is a man. So I think you're right. A man stole her idea. Like James Egan stole her idea, which probably means that she is not an Egan. And second of all, I think that is where we're headed, right? I think just like there are black market versions of Severance, there probably was a Severance 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, and we don't know about that stuff yet. So what I think probably happened is this drug was involved in trying to do the same thing or some of the same things that Severance eventually successfully did. And so once they scrapped that, they just kind of left those people addicted and left those people to die while they started giving people Severance 3.0 or 4.0, whatever they ended up at. And I think that's what we're getting, is like the early days of them trying to have the same idea, trying to help people with these that had these things going on. The drug was their answer to that problem. That Severance chip became a better answer and a safer answer. So now they switched over to that.
But it didn't make money in those cities anymore. So it's like the very first cities that ever had an Amazon warehouse. Where are those cities at now? Right? Because them warehouses everywhere now. Right. Edwin, go ahead before we transition to Invincible. Go ahead.
I'll just say this real quickly. Even though the episode was a bit different than what we mostly gotten in the season, and even though it was it was a complete shift of gear after we had like maybe the greatest episode of the year, with what we witnessed the previous week. Well, the previous 2 weeks.
Direction perfection is what I like to call it. Absolutely.
Yep, it's just definitely like it felt like a total different pace, and it'd be like, oh my, we're seeing Miss Cobell's backstory. I do feel like it was like, oh, Lumen took over the city, and then eventually, like, whatever resources they felt like they could take, or whatever plan they could take, is like, all right, we're done. We'll go to the next one. It's no different from like whatever corporations go through this today, and I, the connection with Miss Wong, I feel it's interesting, but I feel like maybe like, oh, they're taking they have like maybe a private school that was like, all right, we'll have like the brightest minds in this town, in this area together, and whoever has like the better plan will come up, because Miss Cobell, she was the one. She was like,
One of them
oh, I have
school
this brilliant
contest
idea.
ass stuff. Yeah.
Yep, yeah, I can understand the Gemma connection. I do. Initially I thought it was, but then it was like, oh, maybe it's like they said like this is the fellowship. We're gonna take our brightest minds, and whoever gets it will get praised by the Egans. So
All
definitely,
praise
if
secure.
yep.
Yeah.
So it's definitely like
It's sick.
with Miss Cobell is like she followed it to the book. She followed it like more than her mother, and that she just like I put my whole life into this, and
And
it
to
was like,
Tejas' point, they paid her dust.
yeah, and it's like I
Middle
put my life in this
management?
corporation, and it's just like it just didn't pay nothing. So like eventually, I don't know why she backed away in that parking lot. It's still interesting. We'll still probably get an answer for that, but it'd just be like I put my life in this company from a teenager to then just like, oh, like I'm nobody, I'm nothing, and then
Right.
she has to go back home and they just feel like, hey, I need help from her old life. And
Right.
so it's interesting, and I just feel like maybe we'll get more answers when she goes back
For
to where
sure.
Mark is. So overall, interesting episode. Hopefully, we'll get back to where we are.
An excellent segue where our Mark is. Now we're talking about Mark Grayson. Tej, kick us off a little bit with how it wasn't enough, right? And Kendrick voice is not enough. Is not enough excitement for Invincible most recent episode for me. There was a lot and it's still not
I,
enough. Go ahead, Tej.
I just thought it was, I mean, literally action packed from start to finish. I am someone who does not know the story of the comics, so like I don't know where the story's going, and all of a sudden you have, and we knew Angstrom was going to pop back up because they've been showing him in the previews, but all of a sudden he pops up with 18 evil Invincibles, and they just start wrecking the whole city. It was real cinema. It was absolutely incredible, and then not just that, but then you get the big reveal at the end that now we have another one of our what do you call him? What Viltrumites? The Viltrumite comes, and apparently he's a very famous Viltrumite. And the people that read the comics are like, "Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet." That the fight with him is going to be the best you've ever seen. And so to have your season end, a very strong season, I might add, a strong season that's been fun throughout. To have your season end with that kind of episode, and then we have another one where he's about to fight this Viltrumite, who's apparently him. I just could not be more excited about the direction of the show. And I just want to remind everyone that they were getting a lot of backlash for their season 2 release schedule, and they should have, because it sucked. And season 2 wasn't the best season, but we have found some fertile ground. And Invincible is cooking with gas. It's one of the best shows on TV, and I just was blown away by the episode. The way that it looked, the way that it sounded, the song choices, everything that we did in episode 7 was literally perfect. I just love
Happy what we watched Wednesday. I'd love, we're here. We have a couple of pillars, romance. We have a couple of other pillars and understandings and all of these chats. We have our gripe guys. And another thing we have is our parallels. And this episode restored the feeling of, animation and why I have, since the birth of what we watch, have been so adamant and simultaneously like resentful of how people just minimize and push and stifle animation as though it's this like separate category that can't go up against a lot of, the severances and all the things, the live action, everything that we see, because that episode reminded me of some of my favorite episodes of Castlevania. It reminded me of some of my favorite episodes of Demon Slayer. And most recently, it reminded me of X-Men 97. Do y'all remember how X-Men 97 cooked? Like, we're talking real storytelling. We're talking real, like, no, holding back. We're talking real risks. Like, we have 35, it was like 17 or 18, but we have multiple Invincibles, and we are not shying away from the fact that the audience has been challenging why Invincible is called Invincible if he's not invincible, right? Like, every cold open, we play it where it's just a play on words constantly with that. And if your name is Invincible or your name is Immortal, then that should be the case. And so the tension and the excitement that I got when we got 17 head-to-head Invincibles, right? Unstoppable force with unstoppable whatever with an immovable object. It just felt like that times 10. I was like, oh, I'm into this. And none of us could have really anticipated that. Those of us that don't read the book, let me say that. And so I'm just like, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful adaptation. And it's so fucking fun to watch because I ain't gonna lie to you. Mark has been kind of pissing me off. And I told y'all this in the last couple episodes of what we watch. Mark's across the universes in Severance and Invincible. You can tell me another Mark from another episode. I promise you I'm not gonna like him either. The Marks have been pissing me off. Mark won me back a little bit this episode because I'm like, oh, okay, you know what? You standing on business in a couple of things and you're ready to like deal with a couple consequences. I feel like you're growing up and that's important. And now you're finna face like some sort of crazy ass Viltrumite. You got Angstrom Levy, shook. Angstrom Levy's, kind of karma is hitting him on his own. You didn't even have to do too much. He just lost a quick little arm. Like, this is real television, guys. Like, I'm praying that The Boys, when it comes back with its next season, can really stand up to this because for the past few years, The Boys and Invincible have kind of overlapped in their releases. And I'm just like, whew, okay. So I hate all of you.
Hey, long time listener.
Oh, turn up.
Long time listener.
Oh, hey,
It's Angela.
That's
Um
and
okay. So multiple thoughts. Multiple thoughts. One of probably so I love animated shows. Some of my favorite shows in TV history are animated shows. And I love what you can do with that genre when it comes to superhero shows. Like I think like the first season of Young Justice, one of the best seasons of all time. We have the DC animated shows that a lot of us grew up with in the late 90s and the early 2000s, the X-Men, the animated series, things like that. I am flabbergasted that they were able to fit that whole war in one episode and how well they did it. Like, I don't think like I think we're gonna like talk about this in like 5 years and be like, remember that one Invincible episode where this and this and this happened? Because animation has kind of been not so good this season, but that episode just knocked it out of the park. And the multiverse stuff, I think like I know some people are getting exhausted with it, even though that this is based on a comic series from like the early 2000s. But like this, I don't think we've ever seen the multiverse done like this before. Where it's like, okay, he's fighting the evil versions of himself because they want something that he has in this specific universe. So just great TV.
wait, you got to get your bars off about Amber's or Eve's parent.
Oh, okay. And I told y'all Eve's dad is the worst dad in this series. Yes, he is worse than Omni Man. That nigga needs his ass whooped. And I can't wait for
Turn that up. Turn that
I
up.
can't wait for when we see him die because enough is enough. Like, how are
Turn
you
that up.
just every time this man is on our TV screen, he's terrible. Like, he's the
Adam,
worst person that Mark has had to deal with. And Mark's dad almost tried to kill him. So
and I'm so glad you're here. This is what. Thank you. Now I know I'm probably gonna add a little sauce in it, but like, I mean, being a worse dad than Mark is saying, or Omni Man is saying a lot because Omni Man's a great father. Omni Man was just looking out for his
All right.
chickens. He's just doing his best. He has a lot on his plate. When we say a lot on your plate, you have like jobs and taxes and like a girlfriend that annoys you. my husband Omni Man is like the weight of the entire universe. You get what I'm saying? Like we're the most powerful in the universe, and we're dying off. And I fell in love with this girl on accident, my fault. But then we had kids, and I fell in love. And then just damn it. And then now this alien space dude is trying to fuck with me. Like Omni Man is a good father that's made bad choices, and y'all insist on making him a bad father that's made a couple of decent choices. And I disagree fully. He's a great father that is maybe, could have done a little better. Okay? I want you to look at y'all's fathers too, and don't compare it to beating it up, because if your dad beats you up, you're not going to improve off of it. You're not going to build stronger selves necessarily, unless your dad did say that, which I'm so sorry to hear. I don't condone abuse, but abuse isn't the same in the universe of Viltrumites. So I'm glad that we're calling out the real terrible fathers, because Adam Eve's father is going to hinder her. He's not supportive. He's going to continue to break the family apart. He's stressing his wife out. It's just, and there's no real like benefit outside of it. Adam Eve is not becoming, she done gone to architecture school. You're such a bad father. She don't need no damn architecture school, but she is trying to find a way to have happiness. And, now she's, with this other fellow, Invincible. Like, she's trying to find happiness because she couldn't find it at home. And that is your fault, Dad. I'm really excited that you said that. And
Mo, for
KP,
context, he is worse than what was the matriarch, the dad's name on Succession? Logan Roy, L to the OG. Way worse than Logan Roy.
that's what I like to hear. And they look alike too. That's what I like. That's what I like to hear. No disrespect to not Brian Michael Cox. Is it Brian Michael Cox? Is that a senior?
Brian Michael Cox is from Boyz II Men.
That's voice. Um,
This
what's
is
his
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox. Brian Cox. No disrespect, he's a wonderful, talented, beautiful man, but whatever. It's giving the same kind of sepsis type shit with her dad. Enough is enough. KP, talk to me.
I think Mo, you just quoted Jay-Z's song cry for Omni Man. He said, "I'm just fucking them girls. I'm going to get right back." You just quoted him without even knowing it. So shout out to you, Mo.
He's not a bad guy.
Hashtag book reader, Invincible War. This was great. This was phenomenal. And the great thing about the Invincible War is the Invincible that we know is the only Invincible in the whole universe, in all the multiverses that don't kill people. So they were fighting because they never seen this type of guy before. And they were manipulated by shout out Sterling K. Brown for being in Paradise, and this
My
shout out
guy
to that,
works and gets his checks.
keep getting them checks. And then my favorite part of the whole show is that the little brother Oliver ain't changed. He said, "Kill that motherfucker! Kill him now! Kill him so he don't come back." Oliver ain't changed. I don't care how many times he say, "Mom, let me go help. I can help them." Nah, that little demon. That
I
little demon
love
got a lot of
Oliver.
Viltrumite in him. He got
And Oliver was right. I don't like to give Oliver no credit because he's
You,
bad as hell, but he was right.
kill that nigga. So shout out to Oliver. And then the big bad of this is Conquest, the Viltrumite. If you know the comic, this is going to be a legendary. If they do what I think they're going to do, the next couple of episodes are going to be legendary because I've read the books. So shout out to whoever's making this animation. They did it right because they didn't skimp out on the destruction, and that would made Mark feel like Batman and Batman v Superman. Like, yo, my whole building, my whole city's destroyed. What are we gonna do? Like, I gotta stop this stuff because. And then, like, I loved all of it. I love random superheroes that we never known, never seen before, never will see again get killed. Get them out of here. They just fought for the blood and the
fire.
guts. They
Here's
just
the
fought her,
thing.
man. Because that some and if you notice on this TV show, they didn't say none of these superheroes' names that got killed. You ain't know their names. They was just, hey, we need some people. They just started beaming in from all over the planets, and
You
they
know
just
what?
then they just died.
Okay,
So
two things. Number one, thank you for bringing it up, because the Powerplex storyline, they didn't have me in the first half, and then they got me in the second half. I was like, okay, I'm actually into this, because Powerplex is I like his storyline a lot. I didn't at first, and I liked it a lot. But to your point, it's like all of these like unnamed superheroes and like new kind of lines and stuff. And you know, R.I.P. Rex explode. I'm so glad I don't have to say your name anymore, weirdo. God bless it. God bless it.
I'm rude if you speak
Um,
of the dead in that way.
Child, I also didn't like his girlfriend. I ain't gonna lie to you. Get him out of here. This is what we
Well,
watch.
she's
Shout
still
out to
alive. She's
Romance.
still here. She's not dead.
I don't like. Hopefully, she has nothing else to do. Enough is enough. Okay, unless she's helping Mark Grayson, whatever. But I want to hang on. Go ahead, party. Party
Um,
monster.
I ain't gonna lie, Mark's been pissing me off a lot during these last two seasons. Like
Same.
he want to sit here and pick and choose when he want to save the world when he want to, but when your girlfriend was on the sick and shut-in list on the hospital, you didn't want to go and beat all your other alternatives up. It's just like at this, I don't even know at this point what he want to do.
I'm glad that we're talking about it because that was gonna be my next point. Now I said now this towards the end of this episode, I got some. I don't know if you joined me on it, but I had a little sympathy. I was like, okay, he made some dumbass decisions. Sometimes you get paralyzed when you have a lot of pressure. This is why his dad had to beat him up, but that's a whole nother conversation. But I was like, you know what, Mark? You took things into your own hands. You didn't say you're going to prison 15 times in this episode because that's what's pissing me off last two episodes. He couldn't wait till somebody was going to prison. Shut up. Handle your business. I wanted to hang on that too because KP, you said that he's the only one that don't be killing. He do be killing. He just be trying not to, and he don't like to, and he don't want to. And I'm glad we got to see the real versions. Me and Party Monster probably enjoyed a few of the other versions in a quiet way because, like, at least stand on your shit. I don't need you to be a good person. I just need you to know that you're not a good person. I don't need you to be a bad person. I just need you to know that you're not a good person. You know what I mean? Like that's all. I just need you to know what you are and where you stand and the impact you have. And it feels like every fucking episode, Mark is back and forth with it. And I'm just like, yo, let's get it together. What do you want to do? You want everybody to like you. That's not what this is about. We don't have time for this. The Viltrumites are coming. And I want to hang back on what Ange said about um, a lot of the kinds of the Viltrumites fights that are coming. Oh, go ahead, go ahead, Ange. I see your hand up. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, maybe, this question needs to be asked. Like, I think we all believe that there's no such thing as an ethical billionaire, and it's like maybe you can't be that binary if you're this powerful. Like, you just can't be. And so it's like, I'm not a fan of Oliver. That little nigga needs a whooping. He's bad. But if you notice, Oliver only exists in that timeline because in the other timelines, they either killed Omni-Man or Omni-Man never left Earth. But like, bro, like Oliver's pleading with you, like, bro, this nigga has cost you so much chaos. Kill him, bro.
And
Like,
you
what the fuck are
struggling.
you doing? And he's just like he just froze. Like James Harden in game 6 against the Spurs. Like he just
Don't do
froze.
that.
He didn't know what to do.
J.R. Smith type shit. Yes, exactly. And it's frustrating. Yes, yes. KP, go ahead.
The reason why he froze is because in all the other universes, they don't like their girlfriend. They said it. He loves his girl. He got a heart. And them other universes, they probably killed their version of his
I'm
girlfriend.
telling you.
So that's why he froze. Just like in Batman, he froze too. Just all the superhero freeze when they have a woman in their life. So Mark ain't no different.
So
Hold
what
on
you're
now,
saying
because
is
here's the
Monique
thing.
shouldn't be mad at Mark. She should be mad at Eve. She should be mad at women. I like this take. I like that a lot.
No, no,
Be
no.
mad at a good woman. Be mad because she could make food. She could clean up your wounds. She could build a home in a second. She don't need none of that. She's a good
Okay, wait.
woman.
Now
That's
it's
the
on
problem.
record. All these episodes are on record. What did I tell y'all about Adam, Eve, and Mark Grayson? What did I tell y'all about that relationship? I wasn't into it. Y'all was like, no, it
Yeah, you're
makes
not
sense.
into it.
I'm not into it. I'm not into it. I'm over it. But here's the thing. This is what we watch. Romance is a pillar, but I think y'all hit it with what is really every story is a love story. I think y'all really hit it on the nail. Is this only universe that this, feeling that transcends universes and things like that, this little feeling that we call love, has really fucked up this version of the Marks and the Adam Eves and the Omni Mans. Like, boy, 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 y'all done fell in love, and it has and it has made y'all preserve some of the worst people. It has made y'all preserve some of the most, like, the biggest people that'll hold you back, some of your biggest haters. And because y'all are caring and loving and empathetic, you let Adam Eve live. You let Adam Eve parents live. You let Powerplex live. Rex still here. All of them other Invincibles was like, I'm not at my mama's house in my world. Like, I think even Debbie was dead in a lot of the other ones. Like, they were like, nah, y'all doing a little too much soft shit for me. Go ahead, Party Monster.
I just had one question. Do y'all think he was better under working for Cecil? Because I think so.
Can we talk about it? Because Cecil is down like 20 in the second half. Like, he's struggling in the third quarter right now. What do we feel about Cecil and his team, TJ? What do you think?
Man, get Cecil the fuck out of here. Cecil's a piece of shit. I don't like the way Cecil be treating the family. I don't like nothing about Cecil. I do, however, think that Mark needs a Cecil. I just hate
Okay, now
Cecil. But Mark does need a Cecil, so I understand the point. I just hate Cecil. But Mark, I think it looks like the universe is working in conjunction with Mark because it looks like he's going to get Omni Man on his side. Which, Marf, I don't want to redeem Omni Man. He's one of the worst people to ever exist. We don't need to redeem him. Every time he does something even remotely good, he saved Alan. Monique won't shut up about it, about how see he's a great guy. So I'm not into that. But
this has
he gonna
been
have Omni Man
5 years
on
in
his
the
side.
game too. I have been protecting Omni Man non-stop for years. It has been years. I have changed as a woman. I have gone through different cities, different jobs, different business ventures. One thing is about me, baby: death, taxes, and defending Omni Man. Okay, period. End of discussion. What was
I,
said about Omni Man? Oh, okay, that's what I thought. KP, go ahead.
I think just like in sports, Mark needs a good coach. Michael Jordan didn't win till Phil Jackson. Steph didn't win till Steve Kerr. You know what I'm saying?
Where did
Every
LeBron go?
player. Oh, LeBron. I don't talk about him. I don't talk about him. Yeah, he's not even he's not in my multiverse. So
That's
every player
hilarious.
needs a coach
Not
to
those
have a
Invincibles got
system,
LeBron out of there.
and and Mark needs a system, and Cecil has a system that works. Just like McDonald's, they have their system. Mark needs a system. He can't do nothing without being told what to do. You know what he tried to do? He tried to be an independent contractor with his girl. They had their own system, and it didn't work.
Not
That's
everybody
the
needs to be an
problem.
entrepreneur, bro. Don't we talk about this? Can't
That-
everybody be an entrepreneur? I say that as an entrepreneur. We can't all be this, guys. Sometimes we need to support. We need to be a part of it. We need some guidance. We can't always be first in command. That's not what all of us are not supposed to be that. Party Monster, talk to me.
I'm just wondering if Omni Man comes back to Earth and if Invincible, forgives him, I guess. I just hope you don't do that because you going back on your word about Darkwing.
Now that's a good point. Now
All right
Darkwing
now.
didn't catch nearly as many bodies as Omni Man did. Not even close.
Nah, but Darkwing was doing that just because he wanted to. Like, there is no like motive behind it. Omni Man was doing that because he thought, like, he was like, this is what my people sent me here for. Like, my mission is bigger than
It's
anything.
only 50
Dark,
of us left, bro. You have
but
to
Dark,
feel some sort of
We don't
responsibility.
need no more of them niggas up. Good. We need to get that number down. We need to have only Mark and
TJ!
and we got Allen. We don't need no other Viltrumites around, bro.
Well, see somebody to pull Amanda Walker and put a install chip in him.
And I forgot what you said earlier that I was like, we didn't talk about it enough. What were your initial main points? My goodness. I feel like I wanted to talk. Was it about the damn superheroes and the universes?
just, yeah, so just like, we've seen, I think I kind of blame Spider-Verse for this. I think Spider-Verse is the reason we get so many superhero stuff in multiverses, but we've never seen it like this, to where, okay, we're gonna get the evil versions of you in the different multiverses to beat your ass. Like, we've never seen something like this before.
Yep. Yep. I really enjoyed that. There was something it's gonna come back to me, but I just absolutely love this episode to wrap this combo up. I loved it. It was not enough, like we said, Teach. It was not enough fanfare for me. I would tweet about it again. I would hashtag what we watch. I mean, just from a storytelling perspective, from a romantic perspective, from a beaten ass perspective. I mean, I really enjoyed seeing the immortal scene, the Angstrom Levy scene. Like, to your point, Ange, they fit a lot in one episode, and it was like very impressive. Like, I was like, okay, we are cooking at like the best writing pace, the best action packed space. Things are happening, the stakes are high. We have decisions to make. We threw in a sprinkle of a little powerplex. We threw in a little sprinkle of like Adam Eve and her family. Like, we were able to get it all in. Immortal was in this episode, right? Did I make that up, or was that
Yeah,
another? He was.
he quote
He, re-
unquote died.
he
Yeah.
retired. He retired
Yeah,
and got
he
a
he
story. And
retired. Yeah.
Yeah. And so I was just like, we're really hitting on firing off on all cylinders and hitting every note that needs to be hit because Tej, are you saying that the next episode is the finale of the season?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yeah, there's usually like 8 episodes per season.
So we're about to get we're about to get the big bang. I want to see Alan the alien. I want to see my husband Omni Man. I want to see Oliver Cook. This is Team Oliver, Team Omni Man. Um, I really enjoyed Sterling K. Brown, but yeah, Angstrom Levy and all of those little, you know, monitoring balls and gadgets. That had me stressed for my adopted son Mark Grayson. It had me real stressed, but that was fun to see. So shout out to you, Sterling K. Brown. But like, I want all of them. I don't want no more Angstrom Levy because I already know. Because every time Angstrom Levy comes out, I get more pissed off at Mark because Mark can't seem to decide who and when to kill someone. Mark is the worst kind of person. It's not enough. Party Monster, I know you're with me. I don't have to preach to you.
I am.
You know what I'm saying? Because I
Mm-hmm.
want y'all to go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just agreeing with you.
I want y'all to think about this. Really think about this. Mark is your homeboy. Mark is your homeboy. Somebody goes and kills your family, snaps your mother's arm, like sends the entire world into a riot, has mad people fucking killed. It's your homeboy. And your homeboy has the opportunity to kill him, and he's sitting there stressed out. He's sitting there, beads of sweat coming from his face, trying to figure out if he should kill this man. Huh? What what are you confused about? There's like, I don't care what type of math is going on in your head, Mark. The fact that you're hesitating, I don't fuck with you. What? What is going on here? What's the confusion? Get him out of here. But again, our guy is just under so much pressure. It's just so much pressure. And if we're going to give Mark Grayson some grace, then we are going to give Omni-Man some grace. And that's all I got to say to you, Teach. That was directed at you, Teach. If you have any sense of grace for Mark Grayson, then you're going to have some grace
Is,
for Omni-Man. Go ahead, KP.
is this the only Mark Grayson in all the multiverse that actually pays rent? Because they try to make some. I don't know if these other ones have to pay rent, man. That's why they can fight. That's why they don't got nothing to do. They're
You know
not trying
why
to
they don't have to
achieve
pay rent? Because
anything.
they killed their landlord. Y'all not paying attention. They
Jesus.
killed their landlord. Landlord dead. Ain't nobody to pay. Who we gonna pay? But thank you so much. This is What We Watch Wednesday. We'll be back next week to talk about the finale of Invincible for sure and more of Severance. Thank you. Bye-bye.